Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the bill.
To the bill.
As I listen to my colleagues speak about the effects of House Bill 4002, all I can think about are our employees and the situation we will face on our family farm. Let me give you a small look at our farm, which is typical of many other family farms in House District 23 and across Oregon. Let me tell you about a few of our employees and the crews that work for them. Ken is our farm mechanic. He has worked for us since the summer he graduated high school in 1977. That's nearly 40 years ago. He does everything mechanical for us, from equipment fabrication to service and repair of our rolling stock. His skill set is such that he could have taken any number of jobs throughout the years that were regular 40-hour weeks with potential for overtime. But he has chosen to stay because he enjoys the work and gets to drive tractor for a couple months every year. We call it his happy place after a long harvest. This is a job we will no longer be able to afford to have him do on a mechanic's salary if overtime is mandated. Our vineyard supervisor is Mario. Mario worked for us from 2005 to 17. He then left to work for a vineyard management company doing the exact same job. He returned to us in 2019. He came back because he could make more money due to his opportunity to work more hours. We pay more per hour than the management company did, but we don't pay him overtime. Ben is our warehouse supervisor. Ben started in 2006 as an entry-level laborer. He worked his way up to be our head seed cleaning position. He makes less per hour than the vineyard manager, Mario, even though ultimately he has the same crew responsibilities. This is because our seed cleaner does custom work, and by law, we must pay workers overtime. Therefore, Ben gets a limited amount of overtime hours based on what we can charge other farms for our services. During the slow time of the year, our crews work about 50 hours during a 5-day work week. Mario and Ben make the same money during those 5 days. However, Mario sometimes likes to work Saturdays as well. Since he's not making overtime wages, we can afford to pay normal wages for those extra hours he chooses to work. For the employees working under Ben and Mario, the same standard is applied. Seed cleaning facility employees make less per hours, but get limited overtime hours and overtime pay. The vineyard crew gets more money per hour without overtime, but chooses to work more hours, ultimately leading to larger paychecks. To be very clear, using this model, we have experienced no animosity between our employees ever. We compensate our employees on the whole job. This includes potential for hours worked, and if we had always been required to pay overtime, the base hourly rate would definitely have been lower. In fact, if this bill passes, annual raises will likely be postponed simply to spread the payroll budget as far as we can until hopefully the prices of our products will raise enough to resume wage increases. This essentially will cut any benefit to employees receiving overtime, and in the meantime, hours will more likely than be cut just because the budget isn't there. Lastly, I want to introduce you to John and Jay Scharf, John's sons, Justin and Jason, and Jason's kids, Robbie and Megan, my family. These are the farm workers who will be impacted the most by this bill. These employees, are 3 generations of farm workers who will now also be taking on all of the extra overtime on top of the jobs they already do. When the farm can't afford to pay the employees overtime, they will take on the work. The crops don't care about 40 hours. These farm workers have more to lose than their jobs. They have the farm to lose. These farm workers are the 5th generation of Scharfs to have produced farm jobs for countless employees, and their dream to provide that for generations to come. These are also, like many other farm families working in Oregon today, who are watching and listening to us, watching this bill be forced through into their way of life with zero cares as to how this will really impact them and Oregon agriculture. They are on the farm analyzing fertilizer costs that are 200% higher than last year, fuel costs that are nearly double a year ago, praying that God will bless them with bountiful crops and hoping that prices will hold in order to cover the costs of all the inputs they have into their crops. They are also the ones worrying about their ag employee families and what will happen to them when they are forced to cut their hours or eliminate their positions. This bill is not a win for any ag workers. The urban supporters of this bill who live in cul-de-sacs miles from any farm and union labor champions who don't understand the reality of what it takes to be a farmer or a farm worker are driving this bill. You see, colleagues, this bill is driven by people working 9-to-5 jobs in corporate cube farms who think the world outside those high-rise buildings should operate the same way. If those businesses don't, then they are racist, unjust, and need fixed. These people have no clue about Oregon agriculture or what it means to be a family farm. 96% of all farms in Oregon are family-owned, from small 10-acre farms to farms and ranches over 2,000 acres. Scharf Farms is family-owned. Will they and the other family farms be able to survive after this bill passes? Will these family farms be able to offer future generations of farm workers jobs, or will they sell out to capital investment companies from other states or foreign-owned entities who don't care about the land or Oregon agriculture? It is up to the people in this building to determine the fate of 37,000 plus farms with countless numbers of farm workers across the state. It is up to us to determine the fate of multi-generational family farms. Colleagues, show them that House Bill 4002 is not the answer. It is not the Oregon solution. Join me in voting no.